Just in at Newcastle. Big changes are shaking up Eddie Howe's side after a massive Champions League victory, and the surprises keep coming. There's been a bold statement about the squad being stronger without a certain star striker, and fresh faces are already turning heads on Tyneside. Meanwhile, an unexpected twist from Europe has everyone talking, with Newcastle's performance earning serious praise, and even a few sharp comments from a familiar face in the opposition camp. And that's not all. A Brazilian wonder kid linked with Real Madrid could be heading to St. James' Park sooner than anyone expected. With transfer whispers growing louder and Eddie Howe's men showing incredible form, there's so much happening around Newcastle United this week. Stay tuned until the end, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss the latest breaking news from the Toon. Joe Cole has sparked a lively debate among Newcastle supporters this week after boldly claiming the Magpies are in a better position without Alexander Isak. Speaking after the impressive 3-0 win over Benfica in the Champions League, Cole praised Eddie Howe's new attacking options, suggesting the summer arrivals of Nick Woltemade and Yoane Wissa have added a fresh edge to the side. He argued that Newcastle's depth up front now gives them the balance and competition they lacked last season, making them far more dangerous across all competitions. For Cole, this was not just a good performance. It was a glimpse of a team evolving into something special. Cole explained on TNT Sports that the key difference he sees now is flexibility. To compete on multiple fronts, you need players who can step in and make a difference, he said. The former England and Chelsea midfielder pointed out how the likes of Anthony Gordon, Harvey Barnes, Jacob Murphy, and Anthony Elanga all bring unique qualities that keep opposition defenses guessing. They've got options everywhere, Cole added. The players coming off the bench are making real impact. That's what separates top teams from average ones. His words carried weight, especially after such a convincing European display. He also singled out Harvey Barnes for his game-changing cameo against Benfica. The winger came off the bench to score twice, sealing a crucial result in front of a buzzing St. James' Park crowd. Cole said that Barnes' performance showed exactly what Howe has been working towards, a squad where any player can step in and deliver. It's that strength in depth, he insisted, that makes Newcastle a better team now than when Isak was the focal point. For Cole, it's not about disrespecting the Swedish striker, but about celebrating how far the squad has progressed. Cole's praise didn't stop there. He highlighted how Nick Woltemade has quietly impressed since joining from Germany, calling the young striker a clever footballer who understands space. Woltemade's assist for Gordon's goal against Benfica showed great vision and touch, something Cole described as pure class. With 5 goals in 8 appearances already, the 23-year-old is proving a valuable addition to Howe's side. Cole suggested that once Wissa recovers from injury, Newcastle's attack could become one of the most unpredictable in England, with players constantly rotating and interchanging positions. The discussion naturally turned to Eddie Howe, and Cole was full of admiration for the Newcastle manager. Eddie's done a fantastic job. Every substitution worked perfectly tonight, he said. He's built a system that gives confidence to everyone, whether they start or come on. Cole argued that this approach has changed the mentality inside the dressing room. Players are no longer worried about being dropped. They're competing to make an impact whenever called upon. That shift, he believes, has created a stronger, hungrier group overall, one capable of sustaining success throughout a demanding season. Cole even compared the current Newcastle side to his Chelsea teams under Jose Mourinho. When we were winning things, it was because the squad was deep and united, he said. That's what I'm starting to see here. Newcastle have players ready to step in everywhere, and that's what wins trophies. He added that the team's fitness and energy levels stood out against Benfica, especially in the final stages when others would have tired. For him, the signs are all positive, and the best may still be to come if the team continues to grow together. Another player who caught Cole's attention was Anthony Gordon. He described the young winger as the kind of player every manager loves, full of fight, hungry to improve, and never satisfied. Cole said he's admired Gordon since his Everton days, calling him a true competitor who embodies what Newcastle stand for under Howe. He doesn't play for headlines, Cole said. He plays to win. That attitude, along with his recent run of goals, makes Gordon one of the most exciting English talents in the Premier League right now, according to the former midfielder. Cole also reflected on the importance of confidence in football. He noted that Newcastle's European run could be the springboard for greater consistency in the league. "Momentum is everything," he said. "Once a team starts winning and believing, it changes the whole dynamic." He believes the Magpies' blend of youth and experience is key to keeping that momentum alive. Players like Bruno Guimaraes and Kieran Trippier provide leadership, while the newer signings bring enthusiasm and energy, a mix Cole described as the perfect recipe for progress. When asked whether Newcastle truly are better off without Isak, Cole offered a measured response. "Isak's a fantastic player, no question," he said. "But sometimes teams evolve. This isn't about replacing him, it's about adapting. What I see now is a side that plays as a unit, not relying on one man to score. That's powerful." It was a sentiment that resonated with fans who've seen their team struggle for goals in the past. For Cole, the evolution under Howe proves that smart recruitment and strong management can transform a good team into a great one. Cole finished his analysis by predicting more good times ahead for the Toon Army. "This is just the start," he said. "They've shown they can beat top teams in Europe. With this squad depth and confidence, there's no reason Newcastle can't go deep into the Champions League and push hard domestically." His words echoed through the TNT studio, and among fans, optimism is rising again. For Joe Cole, Newcastle United are no longer just contenders. They're becoming a team built to stay at the top. Anthony Gordon has become the man of the moment at St. James Park after another dazzling performance in Europe. The English winger was unstoppable in Newcastle's 3-0 victory over Benfica, scoring the opening goal and running the Portuguese side ragged all night. Once labelled as inconsistent, Gordon has matured into a confident attacker who delivers when it matters most. His work rate, directness, and finishing have made him indispensable to Eddie Howe's system. Gordon's rise has also caught the attention of England boss Thomas Tuchel, who is now considering him as a genuine contender for a World Cup starting spot. Gordon's development has been nothing short of remarkable. Just a year ago, he was criticized for a lack of end product, but now he's scoring freely in the Champions League. His fourth goal in the competition came against Benfica, making him one of the tournament's most effective wingers so far. Alongside superstars like Mbappe, Holland, and Kane, Gordon's name now appears among Europe's elite scorers. It's a transformation that speaks volumes about his mindset and dedication. The 24-year-old Scouser has channeled his natural energy into something purposeful, learning when to sprint, when to press, and when to finish calmly. Eddie Howe has played a key role in Gordon's improvement, trusting him with more responsibility this season. The Newcastle boss recently said he loves Gordon's fearless attitude and how he constantly drives the team forward. That trust has paid off handsomely. Gordon now looks like the heartbeat of Newcastle's attack, always available, always hungry. His ability to stretch defenders and create space for others has opened up new dimensions for Howe's tactical plans. Whether on the left flank or drifting centrally, Gordon's intelligence and versatility are giving Newcastle new ways to break down tough opponents. Gordon's goal against Benfica was a perfect example of his timing and confidence. Arriving at the right moment, he converted Jacob Murphy's cross with precision, sparking loud cheers across Tyneside. It was his third straight Champions League match on the scoresheet, a record no Newcastle player had achieved before. After scoring, Gordon didn't over-celebrate. He simply gestured for calm, showing maturity beyond his years. "We needed to stay focused," he said after the game. "I'm proud of the record, but it's about the team first." Those words summed up his evolution from a raw winger into a complete professional. What has surprised many is Gordon's mental strength. Earlier this season, he was sent off against Liverpool and apologized immediately afterwards, promising to learn from it. Since then, he's channeled that frustration into outstanding form, scoring and assisting regularly. Behind the scenes, Gordon is known to practice meditation and visualization before matches to improve focus. "It helps me see the game before it happens," he once told a local journalist. That calm mindset has been evident on the pitch, where he now plays with purpose and poise. It's a transformation few predicted, but one Howe always believed in. Gordon's recent performances have reignited Newcastle's European campaign and restored confidence around the club. The win over Benfica was their second straight in the Champions League, and it lifted them into a strong position in their group. Supporters could sense something special building, and Gordon was right at the center of it. Every time he touched the ball, there was excitement. His pace and aggression gave Benfica's defense no rest, while his pressing set the tone for the entire team. Even Jose Mourinho, the opposing manager, reportedly called him a problem after the match and meant it as praise. That comment from Mourinho captured what many in Europe are now realizing. Gordon is becoming a complete forward. His mix of energy, work rate and skill is rare at this level. He isn't just scoring. He's creating, pressing, defending and inspiring those around him. Newcastle fans love his commitment. He's quickly becoming one of their own. In a team full of expensive signings, Gordon represents the spirit of hard work and hunger that supporters respect most. His performances are now setting the standard for the rest of the squad, especially younger players like Lewis Miley and Jacob Ramsey. The atmosphere at St. James Park during the Benfica match was electric, and Gordon's name echoed around the ground when he was substituted late on. He received a standing ovation from fans who know just how vital he's become. For them, he's not just a star player, he's a symbol of Newcastle's progress under Eddie Howe. Every touch, every sprint, every goal feels like a statement of intent. "We're building something here," Gordon said in a post-match interview, and those words resonated with the Toon Army, who can sense the club's rising ambition. Off the pitch, Gordon's profile is growing too. He's become a role model for younger fans, admired for his humility and work ethic. He often stays behind after training to practice finishing and crossing, determined to refine every aspect of his game. His fitness levels have improved massively, and teammates have praised his leadership by example. "He sets the tone every day," said Kieran Trippier recently. "He's always the first out, last in, and never hides from responsibility." That attitude has earned him respect inside the dressing room and made him a true cornerstone of the current Newcastle project. Looking ahead, Gordon's challenge is to maintain this level of performance across all competitions. Eddie Howe has warned that consistency is what separates good players from great ones, and Gordon appears ready to take that next step. With the World Cup approaching, he's fighting for a place on the plane and knows every match counts. If he keeps scoring and leading by example, there's no limit to how far he can go. For Newcastle, Gordon isn't just a key player, he's the beating heart of a team determined to rise. Jose Mourinho was back in the spotlight this week after offering a brutally honest assessment of St. James Park following Benfica's 3-0 defeat to Newcastle United. The Portuguese manager, now leading the Lisbon side, had spoken warmly before the match about the famous Tyneside atmosphere. Yet after watching his team outplayed, his post-match comments revealed a more subdued view. Known for his candor, Mourinho admitted that he found the stadium beautiful but surprisingly calm, particularly during the first half. It was a rare moment of humility from a man who usually commands the spotlight wherever he goes. Mourinho began his post-match interview by acknowledging the result but quickly shifted focus to the match environment. "It was nice," he said, "but I must be honest, it wasn't the most intimidating atmosphere." Coming from a manager who has conquered Europe with Chelsea, Inter Milan and Real Madrid, his words carried weight. Many Newcastle fans took it as a backhanded compliment, suggesting that the Magpies' dominance had silenced any tension inside the ground. Mourinho's tone, though respectful, had that trademark edge that makes every one of his comments headline-worthy. He explained that during the first half, he believed his team were in control. "We felt comfortable," he said. "The crowd was quiet because they saw Benfica had chances." For 30 minutes, his players moved the ball well and even forced Nick Pope into a strong save. But once Anthony Gordon struck, the mood shifted dramatically. The roar from the stands reminded Mourinho of what St. James Park can become when Newcastle are winning. "After the second goal, everything changed," he admitted. "It became easy for them to play and easy for the fans to enjoy." Even in defeat, Mourinho showed flashes of his old charisma. He praised Newcastle's efficiency and Howe's substitutions, recognizing the precision of Barnes' 2 late goals. Yet he couldn't resist reminding reporters that his side were undergoing transition. "It's a new project," he said. "We have to grow step by step." To many, It sounded like the same familiar Mourinho playbook, deflecting attention from a heavy defeat by focusing on long-term goals. Still, his acknowledgement of Newcastle's superiority was genuine. "They played with intensity," he said. "They deserved their victory completely." Mourinho's comments drew a mixed reaction back in Portugal. Some fans appreciated his honesty, while others felt he was too quick to downplay Newcastle's dominance. Newspapers in Lisbon quoted his line about the quiet St. James Park as evidence of frustration. English pundits, however, took a different view, interpreting it as classic Mourinho psychology, an attempt to shift pressure away from himself. Whatever the intention, his words reignited the long-standing fascination that English football still has with him, even when he's coaching abroad. The man simply cannot avoid headlines. His history with St. James Park goes back years. Mourinho faced Newcastle several times during his Premier League career, both with Chelsea and Manchester United, and rarely found the place easy. He once described it as a ground that breathes football, and despite his recent critique, that admiration remains. "It's beautiful," he said again, "and fair play to the fans. No problems, no aggression, just football." That respect underlined the evolution of Mourinho himself, now more reflective, less fiery, but still sharp when analyzing the details of any match. Eddie Howe, when asked about Mourinho's remarks, responded with grace. "Everyone's entitled to their opinion," he said, smiling. "We know how special our fans are, and I think the noise after those goals spoke for itself." The Newcastle manager refused to engage in mind games, instead crediting Mourinho for his career achievements. It was a classy exchange between two men who represent very different eras of football. Howe's quiet professionalism contrasted neatly with Mourinho's dramatic flair, yet both share the same obsessive drive for perfection. Mourinho's experience has made him an expert in managing narratives after defeats. His willingness to discuss the crowd and the mood rather than his team's shortcomings was no accident. By focusing on atmosphere, he controlled the conversation. Still, behind that media skill lies genuine respect. "I've managed in the biggest stadiums," he said, "and this one, when it's full and alive, is up there with them." Those who know Mourinho understand he uses honesty like a tool, sometimes to motivate, sometimes to provoke, but always to command attention. Despite the disappointment, Mourinho's reputation in Europe remains strong. At 62, he's still a magnet for cameras and questions. The Benfica job represents a new chapter in a career already filled with trophies, drama, and reinvention. His teams may not dominate as they once did, but his ability to shape the football conversation is undiminished. The St. James Park remarks proved that perfectly. Even in defeat, Mourinho dominated headlines in both Portugal and England, once again showing why he remains one of football's most captivating figures. As the dust settles, Mourinho's focus will shift to rebuilding confidence within his squad. Benfica have struggled in the Champions League so far, losing all three of their opening matches, but their manager insists belief remains strong. "We will respond," he said. "This team has heart." For Newcastle fans, his comments about their ground will only add to the sense of pride, because if someone as experienced as Mourinho calls your stadium beautiful, you must be doing something right. Whatever the spin, he left St. James Park having felt its power. Endrick has become the latest name linked with Newcastle United as speculation grows around a potential loan move from Real Madrid. The 19-year-old Brazilian prodigy, signed for a massive £60 million amid huge expectations, has struggled for minutes under Madrid's new coach. With the World Cup on the horizon, Endrick reportedly wants regular football, and several Premier League clubs, including West Ham, Aston Villa, and Newcastle, have been alerted. Reports from Spain and England claim Real Madrid are open to a short-term deal to help the teenager continue his development. For Newcastle, it's an opportunity that could add yet another layer of excitement to Eddie Howe's ambitious project. Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that Endrick's representatives are exploring options for a January move. The player's desire is simple: to play consistently before the World Cup selection process begins. At Real Madrid, competition is fierce with Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo, and Mbappé leading the line, leaving little room for the youngster to shine. A Premier League loan could offer Endrick valuable experience in one of the world's most demanding leagues. Newcastle's recruitment team, known for targeting young, hungry talents, are reportedly monitoring the situation closely, though they face competition from rivals also keen to secure his signature. Endrick's potential arrival would fit perfectly into Howe's long-term vision. The manager has repeatedly spoken about the need for dynamic attacking options who can adapt quickly to English football. At just 19, Endrick combines raw pace, strength, and flair, qualities that could complement Newcastle's existing attack. Imagine him linking up with Anthony Gordon and Harvey Barnes on either flank, or learning alongside Nick Woltemade in training. The idea excites fans, but the club's hierarchy will weigh financial and developmental factors before making any approach. Real Madrid would likely demand assurances of playing time and a clear plan for the youngster's growth. Sources close to the club suggest Newcastle's interest is genuine but cautious. The Magpies are not desperate for another forward, given the depth Howe already has at his disposal, yet a short-term move for a world-class prospect could be too tempting to ignore. The scouting department has followed Endrick since his early days at Palmeiras, and the idea of bringing him to England, even temporarily, has never completely disappeared. However, the challenge lies in convincing Real Madrid that Newcastle is the best environment for him to flourish without any permanent transfer obligations attached. Meanwhile, other clubs have entered the race. West Ham are reportedly the most aggressive suitors, offering the youngster guaranteed minutes and a key attacking role. Aston Villa, too, have made inquiries, seeing Endrick as an ideal partner for Ollie Watkins. Yet Newcastle's recent rise under Howe gives them a strong pull factor, the chance to play Champions League football in front of a passionate fanbase. That kind of exposure could be invaluable for a teenager aiming to prove himself on the global stage. It's a race that could heat up quickly as January approaches. Endrick's own ambitions could influence the decision heavily. Known for his determination and maturity beyond his years, he has stated publicly that he wants to compete with the best. Playing in England, even on loan, would test his physicality and decision-making, while giving him a taste of top-level football every week. Newcastle's attacking system, built on intensity and quick transitions, could suit his natural style. For Eddie Howe, the key would be managing expectations and ensuring Endrick's development remains the priority, not just short-term results or marketing appeal. For Real Madrid, loaning out Endrick could serve a dual purpose, easing squad congestion and ensuring their investment keeps growing in value. Youngsters who adapt well to the Premier League often return sharper and more confident. That's precisely what Madrid want for Endrick. Their sporting directors are reportedly open to a 6-month or season-long loan, provided the receiving club guarantees him meaningful playing time. Newcastle's reputation for improving young players, as seen with Lewis Miley and Anthony Gordon, could play in their favor when negotiations begin later this winter. Newcastle fans, meanwhile, have already begun dreaming. Social media has been flooded with mock-ups of Endrick in black and white stripes, and discussions about how he would fit into Howe's system. The buzz reflects the growing ambition around St. James Park, where every window now brings links to exciting names. For many supporters, even being mentioned in the same breath as Real Madrid talents is proof of the club's evolution. They know not every rumor will come true, but the fact that Newcastle are now part of these conversations says everything about their progress. Eddie Howe has refused to comment publicly on transfer speculation, but has made his stance on young talent clear. "We're always looking for players who can grow with us," he said last week. "If someone fits our philosophy and wants to improve, we're interested." Those words have only fueled excitement among fans eager for fresh attacking flair. Howe's cautious optimism suggests that if the right opportunity arises, Newcastle would act decisively. Endrick's situation, then, could develop quietly in the background before exploding into headlines once the January window officially opens. Whatever happens, the connection between Newcastle and Endrick highlights the club's growing status on the European stage. A few years ago, the idea of competing with top Premier League sides for one of football's brightest talents would have seemed unrealistic. Now, it feels entirely possible. Whether or not a loan materializes, the fact that such stories circulate around Tyneside speaks volumes about where the Magpies are headed. For Endrick, the Premier League could be the next big step. For Newcastle, it's another sign they're thinking and acting like a top club. What a brilliant week for Newcastle fans. Joe Cole's comments show how far Eddie Howe's team has come, looking stronger and more complete than before. Anthony Gordon's form keeps improving. Mourinho's honest words remind everyone how respected St. James Park has become. And the Endrick rumours prove that the club's name now carries serious weight in Europe. Do you agree Newcastle are truly better off without Isaac? Should Anthony Gordon start for England at the next World Cup? And what about Mourinho? Was he right about the St. James Park atmosphere? Or just trying to stir the pot? Finally, would you welcome Endrick on loan from Real Madrid? Share your thoughts below. Your comments keep the Toon conversation alive every single day. No matter your answer, one thing is certain. This club is growing faster than anyone expected. Newcastle are dreaming big again, both on and off the pitch, and the Toon Army is right there leading the charge. Wait, before you go, check out this breaking video from Newcastle.